Okay, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to talk about the issue of living in a silent world. So I've been really reluctant to share this journey, and I certainly am not sharing it for an attempt at any sympathy, because none is deserved. But perhaps the journey that I have been on will help someone else. So the journey that I'm on is quite bizarre, actually, because it's living in the world of complete silence. So I am now a profoundly deaf person. Okay, so without my cochlear implants, I can take one out right now, but in my head, I have implanted two devices that connect with these two little guys. So actually I have a bald spot on my head where this connects with the internal piece, and then it clips on, but it's under my hair, so you can't really see it. Okay, so a lot of people get fooled, start talking to me, think I really get everything. Now, I do get everything if there is a contained space, and if there is a fairly quiet space, then yeah, I can get almost everything, and you probably would never know. And I sometimes forget, hey, wait a minute, you got to have these things plugged in. You got to have them, the batteries juiced up and ready to go. You've got to have your little mini mic, which is so much fun because people think the mini mic is I'm taping them for TikTok or something, but the mini mic is a little tiny microphone for me. It only supports me in my journey to here. So if I'm in a crowded space, and of course we have high ceilings in our house, and it's a crowded space, but it echoes, and so it's very difficult. Even if I'm sitting next to someone on the couch in a living room, and I'm sitting right next to them, they're talking, I can often not understand anything that they're saying. It's because there's no carpeting, everything is travertine and flooring, and so and high ceilings, and so the sound bounces off. So it's very difficult for me to hear my husband. I rarely hear him. He needs to be on a mic. I have to have him on a mic, or I don't get anything. I know his lips are moving. I can hear sound. When I have my cochlear implants in, I can hear sound very well. That doesn't help you get the, it doesn't make speech intelligible. Okay, so a lot of people who have hearing aids, and then they keep getting more hearing aids, and they're just getting volume, they're not getting anything, right? They're getting distortion. The other problem comes with sound that's amplified. So a speaker that's talking on a microphone, it depends on where they're holding that mic and how much they're projecting, whether or not I will hear it or not. And usually it's or not. So if the sound system is very good, then I have a chance of really hearing what is being said. If I can put my mini mic on the lectern, then the sound comes through the little mini mic directly into the cochlear implants, and then I can hear. Now, the cochlear implant surgery is an in and out procedure. Well, not exactly. You come in at 7, you leave at 4. Okay, it is a full surgery to implant this mechanism that has the little filaments, and then it has a receptor that then connects with the external receptor, and they are magnetized together. Okay, so that's what I have, and that's how I hear. So I live in two worlds. So when I take these out, I hear nothing. It's a real strange thing to see water dripping, and you hear nothing. And if it's a really big sound, okay, I can hear a really big sound, but to identify what that sound might be, then I wouldn't be able to do that without these. So nighttime is both good and bad, because I'm not going to hear anything that's going to disrupt my sleep, but then I'm not going to hear anything. So, okay, so I have, the smart watches are wonderful. So these are really great for deaf people. I don't know how good it is that you wear it 24/7, but this is how I depend upon this in order to wake myself up. So I'm an early riser. I don't like to sleep past 5:15, and I get this. It wakes me up. So it's my alarm clock. I would never be able to hear the alarm. So this saves my life in terms of keeping track of time. So the irony of this whole situation that I'm in is, and it's a hereditary issue. So it was the case for my dad at 50. It's on both sides. Hearing impairments are on both sides of the family. But the irony is I have perfect hearing when I entered my academic life. So I started my academic life as a teacher of profoundly deaf children. At that time, I had perfect hearing. And I have so much more empathy now for the little kids that I worked with so long ago. The kind of contraptions we put on those poor children was really bad. But then I did learn about the wonderful world of the hearing impaired and sign language and how beautiful that is. And that's part of my story of meeting my husband of 50 years. We met in a sign language class, and so it's it's kind of a big part of my life. We both learned sign language, and now he often will have to finger spell something for me or give me a sign for something, and so we have that to rely upon. But the amazing thing is, when we met 50 years ago, perfect hearing, dealing with hearing impaired children, he was in that world as well. And then it wasn't until probably my late 50s that I developed this hearing loss. So it starts off with you can wear regular hearing aids, and then you can't anymore because the hearing deteriorates to a point where all you're getting is volume increase, which gives you no speech intelligibility. You're not going to get that at all. And you're going to have trouble with a lot of other things as well. So that's kind of my story, and I don't let it stop me because most people are very nice about it, especially when I get that little mini mic. It's like, ooh, getting an interview. No, that's how I get to hear you. So I have traveled all over the world, and I do have trouble with different languages. Okay, so we just got back from several weeks in Panama, and oh my gosh, is that, okay, are we in English, are we in Spanish, are we in Spanish, are we in English? And so that's a little challenging. And accents, people who have a foreign accent, that's very, very challenging for me. So my story is one, I'm just amused by the irony of the fact that that's how I started in education. And it is one of my greatest memories. I went all the way through an academic career, spent 20 years as a college president, and as I look back on all of that, that was fabulous. But the real joy and satisfaction in terms of teaching and being part of a wonderful world that the hearing impaired have with their sign language, their culture. There's a deaf culture. Being part of that, I think, was really a highlight of all my years in education. So the whole issue of cochlear implants are ones that I would recommend, because if your hearing deteriorates to the point where you have just about 20% left, that means that you're not really getting much of anything that's being said, and it leads to isolation, which has been connected to cognitive decline. So who wants that? So no one wants to be isolated, but nobody wants to keep saying what, and that's what you have to do when you're hearing impaired. and that, ticks you off, and it ticks the other people off too, I'm sure. So I would say I'm a very big proponent of cochlear implants for people who have hearing aids that are not really giving them the kind of satisfaction that they need. So if the hearing is deteriorated to the point where you're really getting not very much, then you're a candidate for a cochlear implant. I now have 2, and without them, I would live in a silent world. Okay. But I have them. I keep them charged, so I don't have to live in a silent world. So it's really bizarre because I'm hearing, I'm not. I'm hearing, I'm not. And so my husband has, can you hear me? It's like, if I don't respond, he knows. I don't have these charged up. And I'm not hearing him at all. So that's my story. And I hope sharing it helps someone. It's about living the best life you can live and not having any barriers. If there's something that can be an intervention and help you to have the life that you want, to be completely able to do anything that you want to do. So thanks for watching.